guys, I want to talk really quickly about bonds and kindness and what it's all about. So my helping hands in understanding what bonds and kindness is about. So to start with, it's absolutely about representing the 99%. And where did the whole concept of 99% come from? The whole Occupy movement that went on after the financial collapse that threatened to bring down all of civilization. Now, was I one of those people that actually went out to camp out in front of buildings? No, I can honestly admit that I was not. But what I can say is that I was very, very fascinated. I, at that point, didn't really have a connection too much. I was stuck in that pattern of go to school, get good grades, and move on to the next phase of your life, get a good job. So I was still trying to navigate that whole journey, and the whole Occupy thing. For me, it was interesting. It was the first time I actually got to engage with my consciousness in the world around me in a way that was incredibly fulfilling. So I would keep up with things that were happening, and one thing that really stuck out to me was the whole leadership, like the format of leadership within the Occupy movement, which was the fact that there was none really. There wasn't anyone that anyone could point to say, hey, we've condensed our ideas and this person represents our interest. It was more about being excited of having no leadership, where everyone just got to say whatever they wanted. I remember specifically thinking that was a bad idea. And in classes, because I was in school at that time, I would have conversations with my professors about that whole structure. And it was the first time where I wasn't just reading things for homework and having a conversation with a professor, just giving my opinion about it. It was something that was actually happening in real life. So that's where I would say the whole bonds and kindness thing planted itself within me, but it was far removed. This whole thing never happened. I never really thought I would do anything about it, but I realized I was excited to actually think critically about things that were going on around me. And very recently, I was able to put everything together. So I realized I really love to draw. I really love to paint. I really love to sculpt. Anything based in art, really. That I got a kick out of trying to get better at it. So it was, I guess, as I started to mature, my passions started to come together, and my passions coming together and reaching their fruition, I would say this brand was born. So very recently, I've been able to put together the brand I call Bonds and Kindness, which bonds is all about us being together and focusing on each other as people all over the world. And kindness is how we should treat each other. So wherever our journey is, whatever our purpose is in life, after we find it, making sure that we are always considerate of the people around us and making sure that we treat them with as much kindness as we can possibly afford. Okay, it just makes the journey a whole lot easier. And I think if we all absorb a philosophy like that, the potential for the human race is incredible. So my role, as I see it, is just to try my possible best to making it happen. So bonds and kindness specifically was my 30-second elevator pitch. If someone was to walk into me and ask, what is it about? It's about educating, representing, and empowering people so that they can be the best they possibly can be. It's that simple. That's where it would end for me. And thinking of creative ways to do that, obviously. So art for 99%, if anyone was to ask, I don't want people to think I'm all about poor versus rich. That's not my 99%. That's not my dichotomy. What I focus on really is the 99% of people that want to do things the right way, that want to see people be the best they possibly can. That's my 99%. Because when you say it's against rich versus poor, it's not fair. There's some very successful people that have done the right things every single step of the way. I hope to be one of those successful people. I hope my children could grow up to be one of those successful people, especially if I fail. I would want to raise some children that would say, hey, you know what, this is where dad stopped. Let's continue on in any way we can to being as successful as we possibly can be. And obviously what I define as success is personal to me, but just there are some successful people that have accumulated a whole lot of wealth. And we can't just put them in a bubble with those people that decided to write false securities and say, hey, this is worth $100,000 when it was really worth $0 and collected money for it. They're not the same. Some people actually acquired their wealth the right way. So I try to be careful. That was one of my criticisms, thinking about the whole Occupy movement and, realizing that for me, it's about the people that want the best for people and are trying their very hardest against the people that would rather cheat. And I find that in humanity, at least through my experience, 99.99% of people just want to do the right thing. They want to accomplish as much as they possibly can. They may not know how to. And that's what the whole bonds and kindness thing is about. Educating people, but making the information accessible. So thinking creatively about how to reach people. Okay, because a lot of times, a lot of the information that's out there that can empower people is not accessible. It's not something that they want to absorb. The information may be too dense. I've come across some books where I'm just like, all right, you know what? I get what you're trying to say, but this was too complicated. You didn't need to use these many big words. I mean, the value of what you're saying is lost because I have to spend time thinking about things I don't want to think about. And I would consider myself to be someone that's very interested in developing his everything, in all honesty. So I don't mind the challenge of reading really dense material. But then you think of people that would otherwise watch, that would want to spend their time watching TV shows and watching basketball or football or whatever it is, and just go to the bar to drink. Those people, they have all the potential in the world to change the world, but we can't ignore them just because they don't read that same dense material and see that, wow, okay, maybe there's a lot of cronyism going on that's affecting my life, or there are a lot of laws and legislatures that are slanted in favor of very few people. They may not want to look deeper into it because it's packaged in a way that's not accessible to them, and that's where bonds and kindness comes into play. Because I don't blame the people for not being interested. The burden lays on the person or people with the information. So if you have information that the people need to hear or see, then it's your job to package it in a way that is familiar to them. You can't judge them because you went to a really, really good school, or you took the time to educate yourself in a really advanced manner, and then leave others behind. I don't believe you get to blame the Republic for not being accustomed to absorbing dense information. It's not how we've been brought up. Some of us have been more fortunate than others because we're just born with an inclination to actually pursue knowledge in a different way, no matter how tedious it may be. Some people don't want it to be tedious. So bonds and kindness is about creatively designing information in a way that appeals to people. So the whole Helping Hands series, I try to make business seem like almost like a joke, because to me it is. It's like there's a lot of complex stuff, but I watch people talk about it and I go, why did you have to make it sound so difficult? Because there might be someone down the street here that that may have an opinion that could change the whole world. All right, the potential of doing anything positive in a grand scale is up to all of us. All right. Not one person can do it single-handedly. We need all of us. So educating, representing, and empowering people. That's all bonds and kindness is all about. And I do want to also add, because in a way it may seem like, oh, it's a nonprofit. No, it's really just a brand that's an extension of my passion as of right now, because it's just me. But I'm a capitalist. I should absolutely say that. Hopefully, once I'm done with my journey, learning how to develop things, and maybe, having an opportunity to meet people that teach me the right steps I'm supposed to take, or whatever lays in front of me, whatever it is, I'm excited. Along the way, I hope to keep representing as much people as possible, educating as much people as possible, and empowering as much people as possible. But hopefully I serve as a model for how to do things in a way that creates a lot of value for everyone around. So when people decide, hey, I'm going to open up or pursue my passion, they're able to realize that you can be very successful and still make everyone around you, your community, the whole world feel more alive because you exist. And I will absolutely approach that from a capitalist perspective, because for me, out of all the civilizations and the systems in the world, I find democracy to be the most useful and capitalism to be the most purposeful. Okay? So I gave a 30-second elevator pitch, and I've given a whole rant right now. But if I was going to say one sentence for what bonds and kindness is all about, it's helping people